Right, it's day 2 of Comic Con. I'm heading to a panel. The panel doesn't start till 11 o'clock, it's now 8:45, but the way Comic Con works is you basically have to queue and get into the panel before the one you want to see, if you want any chance of actually seeing it. So the one before it is The Hobbit. It's run by the OneRing.net. It's not an official one, and I think Peter Jackson actually said he's not sending any official footage to Comic Con, so it's just more of a fan panel than anything else. But that's what I'm going to have to get into if I want to be able to see the one I want to see, which is Dragon Age. It's a new web series. It's got Felicia Day at the panel, so it's going to be popular just because of that alone. So I'm up here in Sales Pavilion. These queues out here are people queuing for the chance to possibly get a ticket to an autograph session. Several different queues going on there, but instead of making people queue and then turn them away, what they've actually done is started doing draws. So you walk around the circle, just pulling tickets out. Most of them say no, some of them say yes. Once all the yeses are gone, that's the end of it, and the people who get a yes will get an autograph. So it's a much better system now, but I'm going to head down and start queuing 2 hours early for my panel.
That's the bad thing. What I'd like to know is like the experiences between the previous movies and how it basically pulled you into being able to do this movie. Obviously, you went through what I think you said, what, 3 hours of makeup and all this. Now, as a production standpoint, how does it help you get into character and build a character? Do you strictly go on just the makeup design, or do you create like your own little background?
No, it will start with the script every time, just like any other actor would do. You find how he plays in with the other characters, what's his heart, his soul, his intentions, fears, all that stuff plays in. And when the makeup process adds another dimension to this style of acting, where you can now have a look to work with as well. And I was given lovely long fingernails, so you saw a lot of hand shots in that trailer. You know, lots to play with. So yeah, the design will often dictate some physicality and some dialogue that isn't verbal, maybe. That's I have worked with some of the best makeup artists in the world, and this show included. They did a great job with these.
That's as skinny as you guys will ever see me. I'm never doing that again. I mean, it's too much work. No, it was great. I had guns, I did it. No longer. Yeah, I took it really seriously, and it was a lot of pressure because I was doing Eureka at the same time, and I was finishing this script during pre-production because it was months of work to build these sets and all the weapons on Greg's part, and then we were in pre-production. And I was like, get yourself in shape, lady. So it was hours a day working with Tom Williams, our stunt coordinator, and learning how to, be convincing with the knives. And I also want to say that, just the look, if you look at some of the scenes in the trailer and see, there's smoke and all these amazing kind of scope, that was all Bartley working with the special effects team to really make Malibu look like a New Zealand forest almost, and he did an amazing job with his use of light. There are certain scenes where I'm just like, it looks like painting. So I just want to thank John for making it great.
Well, I got into the OneRing.net panel. The queue was huge, but I was lucky enough that it was in it early enough to get in. A lot of Hobbit fans didn't get in, unfortunately. It was alright, nothing too special there. It's like I said, it's just a fan panel run by a fan website because there was no official presence for The Hobbit here at Comic Con this year. But the main reason was to make sure I was there for the Dragon Age panel, and it was really good. Felicia Day and Doug Jones were there, both of them in the web series that's going to be coming out later this year. So got some footage of the panel. And overall the trailer looks amazing. It just film quality stuff for the web. It's really, really good. So that's something to look out for later this year. Well, I'm back in my hotel room now, well after midnight. And today was a bit of a mixed day, actually. It started off pretty well with the Dragon Age panel, getting in to see that. That was a good panel. And it was pretty much the only panel I wanted to see all day. There was nothing else that really grabbed me, but I decided to take a look into Hall H. What happened today was Ballroom 20 was the room to be in. It had the Game of Thrones panel in there. It started at 3 o'clock, and apparently people who started queuing at 11 o'clock only just made it in. And while the Game of Thrones panel was going on, there was something like 4,000 people still outside trying to get into it. And before that panel there was The Ringer, I think it was. Sarah Michelle Gellar was on that panel, so again that was another popular one just immediately before. So everyone was trying to get into Ballroom 20, and the queue for Hall H was very short, so I went in there for the Fox presentation. That's 20th Century Fox, not the Fox network, although they're sort of linked. But it was films. Films aren't really being represented as much this year at Comic-Con as they were last year. Last year we had people like Angelina Jolie and Bruce Willis was there, Sylvester Stallone. There was a lot of big movie names at Comic-Con last year, but the studios have decided or realised that it doesn't really help them too much with box office numbers, so they're not supporting Comic-Con as much this year. And Hall H has been a little bit sort of devoted more towards TV than movies, although that's where Twilight was this morning. I just avoided the whole area until that panel was over and they all went home. But yeah, so I got into Hall H without much queuing at all. Hall H was the one where I was showing you last year, the huge queues outside it, but there was no queue. There was like one row within the tent. So went in there, and it was Damon Lindelof, who, the creator of Lost. He was moderating the panel for Fox, and the first they had a few people up there. The first two they had up were Charlize Theron was there, and then they had a video link to Iceland where Ridley Scott talked about Prometheus.
Speaking of robots, there is a rumor about this movie that there is a robot in Prometheus. Is this accurate? Will you confirm that here for us today?
There may be two. There may be two.
Ooh, snap.
You know, I think robots and androids and replicants have actually become so much part of the actual science fiction scenario and landscape that they're no longer unique. So what you've got to come up with, like in all challenges, whether you're writing a book or whether you're doing a movie or whether you're doing an opera, you've got to come up with those unique notions that make something fresh. And I think this film I've honestly had a better time with than many years. And partly because I've felt secure in having a terrific script from you. And that said, I want you to do the next one immediately. That's the only reason why I'm buttering you up. You're free, okay? And also, the reason why the film actually has been a good time for me is I've worked with, the cast I've worked with on this particular film has been as good a time as I can remember. So that's two good reasons to keep going.
It looks very, very good. It's they're doing a lot of practical effects, not so much CGI, and huge sets. They have a lot of space on sound stages, and all the location shooting is being done in Iceland, so it should be a really good film. Next up was In Time, I think it's called, and they had Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried there. Talking about that film.
Amanda, it feels like there's a lot of action in this movie. What was it like to shoot that? Doing just the crazy amount of running that we just saw?
Yeah, see, the thing is, it's like, it never stops, the action, and it was a bit painful because I was literally in these exact heels, I don't know why I'm still wearing them, running for my life, and at some point, I would have been, you know, my face would have been like completely squashed to the ground if I hadn't been holding his hand. We're running for our lives in this movie because we don't have any time, and then there's a lot of guns, which we both really enjoyed. We sometimes went shooting after hours.
We all love guns.
Who doesn't like to shoot
We love
guns?
guns.
Come on. Oh, God.
dream about it. I'm from Tennessee, so like, yeah, we're not proud of it, but we're sort of like born with them in our hands. I'm kidding.
It looks pretty good. Could be a good film. I think it's written by the guy who did the Truman Show. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, it seems like it's a very interesting script, and those two were there to talk about it. And last up then was Andy Serkis was there for the new Planet of the Apes film.
With Caesar, I actually believe that it was even more of a formidable challenge. It was a huge thing because he is the emotional kind of the relationship between he and Will Rodman, who's played amazingly by James Franco, the research scientist. Yeah, James Franco. He plays the research scientist who's working on a cure for Alzheimer's, and the relationship that we had to have on screen, you know, it requires a lot from an actor to you know, on a live action set to work with an actor in a performance capture scene, but you forget about it immediately, because performance capture is really only another way of recording an actor's performance. As I say, it's a tool, and it's what we're able to do now, and what was pioneered for Rise of the Planet of the Apes was to shoot on a live action set, so there was really no difference between the live action actors, if you like, and the actors playing the apes.
So that was overall a fairly good panel. After that, Robert Rodriguez was on stage, and his panel was a bit boring, to be honest. He was just talking about a load of upcoming projects, and there's a lot of comic book stuff in there, so if you're into heavy metal comics, or I can't remember the name of the artist now. Again, I wasn't paying too much attention. It wasn't a great panel.
Some pre-show announcements commencing now.
So after that was Woodstock. It's something I was looking forward to. I went to it last year and it was good. This year was it was better for a while. It was very, very funny. I was really enjoying it. It was down on the off-site events list as an event from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, so I thought it was going to get a bit of an early night tonight. So I left the car in the underground car park and went up, and it went on for 4 hours, 7 till 11, or it finished after 11. It was nearly 20 past 11. So it just went on too long. I was really enjoying it at the start. Very, very funny, and like I said, better than last year. But it just went on and on and on. And by the time it was coming to the end, I just wanted to leave. And the only reason I didn't leave is because they were doing an autograph session after, and I brought over 2 books, 2 of Will Wheaton's books, to get signed. But I ended up having to leave because my car would get locked into the car park at midnight, and I just had to leave before I got to the front of the autograph session. So that was really disappointing. It was one of the few autographs that I wanted this year. Was to get him to sign those 2 books, so I wasted my time lugging those across with me. So yeah, it was a long day, a bit mixed. Tomorrow should be better. I think there are some other better panels that I want to see tomorrow. I'll probably get into Ballroom 20. Yeah, I'll get into Ballroom 20 earlier on and stay there for most of the day probably. So that's it for Comic Con Day 2. Not as good as it could have been, but we'll see how tomorrow goes.